Culture Nepal, peace and tolerance have been core values taught in every single Nepali home for centuries. Reflecting this sentiment, the late King Birendra proposed Nepal to be a peace zone in the international community during his coronation ceremony in 1975. It is with this earnest desire to institutionalize peace that I stand to make a proposition that my country Nepal be declared a zone of peace. Many centuries before, a similar attempt was made by a Prince Siddhartha Gautam in Nepal, leading him to Buddhahood. It was a different time and different way that touched the core of all humanity. Today, we try to preserve the same sentiment of peace and humanity in many different forms, including one coming right from the heart of an honorable Nepali monk. Welcome, Venerable Dr. Pannaloka in Culture Nepal. How are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Venerable Pannaloka, should I call you monk or Bhante? What is the difference?
Bhante that is how you address to a monk. Monk is just a status, but in a way it is something like a mother has a name, but you never say mother's name, right? You call mother or mom, just like that. So that is a word of addressing a Buddhist monk.
I see.
A Bhante. Yeah.
So you don't say Pannaloka, but you say Bhante.
The Bhante, Pannaloka. If you Bhante, when you say Bhante, it can be anybody, any monk.
Okay.
But when you say Bhante Pannaloka, particularly that is for me.
I see. Is that a Pali word?
Yeah, that's a Pali word.
I see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, so because Pali is the language that is
spoken by the Buddha. That is his mother tongue.
That is his mother tongue.
Yeah.
I see. So according to the UNESCO, Buddha was born in 623 BC in the sacred area of Lumbini located in Tarai plain of southern Nepal. Considering its past and history, it is not possible to cover all aspects of Buddhism in this program today. But could you please briefly tell us how and why you chose to be a monk?
I'm brought up in the Buddhist culture, and so from my very young age, my family used to take me to the temple for the prayer, and so that is how I have been strongly influenced. I could remember when I was probably 2.5 years, my sister grabbed me and taken to temple for evening prayer. And at that time there was no electric light,
right,
just an oil lamp,
right,
offering to the Buddha. So that was strongly reflected me. And when we went back home and at the dinner, everybody asking me how Buddha looks like. And I sat, the Buddha statue sat and acting like I was a Buddha, you know,
yes, yes.
flitting the eyes and sitting and in meditation and making everybody laughing.
Right.
So this is how I have been very strongly influenced from the very young age. And of course, as I grew up, we used to invite monks and nuns at home for offering the lunch. Mm-hmm. And we have one aunt, grand aunt we used to call her, who was a nun actually. And she always encouraged my mother, you have so many sons. Usually we have 5 brothers, I'm the 4th one.
Okay.
And I was probably 8 or 10 years old. I cannot remember exact my age, but I can understand what they were conversing. Yeah. And encouraging my mother to give one or two of her sons to become a monk.
I see.
So I used to listen to her, and I was thinking that why she did not ask for me.
Oh,
I could become a monk.
yes.
You know, somehow it went on, but somehow I got this opportunity, becoming monk at the age of 20.
I see.
Yeah.
So I want to explain one thing for our audience. When you say temple in Nepal, we don't really distinguish Buddhism and Hinduism as a separate entity. We blend in together. In Hindu religion, Buddha is considered 10th reincarnation of Vishnu, and we welcome that. So when you go in temple, you always find the Buddha statue there, and when probably in Buddhism, which I more came from the Hindu background, I don't know the details of the Buddhism that much, as well as Hinduism actually, but I just wanted to clarify that there were both Hindu and Buddhism mixed, and most of the Newari culture is more geared towards Buddhism. Is that true? And how did you distinguish? In other words, you could be a Hindu monk.
Well, in this explanations, actually, when we think about our Nepalese people, how we are going to know who is Buddhist and who is non-Buddhist, or who is the Hindu. Now we have a lot of ethnic background.
Yes.
By ethnics also we can understand who are Buddhist and who are non-Buddhist.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like when we say the Brahmanism,
Yes.
a Brahmin or Kshatriya or Vaishya, Sudra, like that, particularly they are known as Hindu, right? But when you say Sakya, Vajracharya, Manandar, Mahajan,
Right.
especially in the Newari community,
Right.
you can understand they are Buddhists.
Right.
On the other hand, we Buddhists and the Hindus divided by cultural rituals. In Hinduism, whenever you want to do wedding rituals or death rituals, or birth ritual, whatever rituals, you invite the Brahmins.
Right.
In the Buddhist family, and whenever we do cultural like this,
Right.
We invite the Buddhist priests,
Right.
right?
Right.
And we call them Gurju.
Right.
They are lay people, but they have right to perform the priest activities.
Right.
So this is also other way to find who are Buddhists and who are Hindus. Besides, we both Hindu and Buddhists coexist.
Right.
Culturally.
Right. So we
Yeah.
strive to find the truth.
Yeah, so
And
that
solution.
culturally we do not divide strongly,
No.
because we very much, Hindus also go to Buddhist temple,
Yes.
Buddhists also go to Hindu temple.
Yes.
We exist together.
We coexist and we respect
Yeah, that's
each
right.
other.
Yeah, each other.
Yes. So thank you for clarifying that. But I just wanted to let our audience know that when we in Nepal, we really strive for spirituality, a path,
Yeah.
whatever you strive, even if you're, whatever culture you're born in.
yeah.
So for you, Buddha,
Well,
Buddha's
that's what
path
I follow the
was-
Buddha's teachings,
right,
his philosophy,
right,
his way, the teachings for our way of life.
right,
Right? So that is what I have chosen. But when you say Buddha is one of the incarnations of the 9 or 10 gods in the Hinduism, that is specifically mentioned, may have mentioned in the Hindu scriptures, but
yeah.
we don't find anything like that in the Buddhist scriptures.
Yes. It's, I think, Hindu religion's kind of nature of, accepting
So
all
Buddha,
path to
Buddha
the
also
truth.
included one of their gods.
Right.
So that's how we combined.
So it's more like a Hindu embracing the Buddha's good, God whose nature.
Yeah, that way, yeah, in the concept of the God.
Right.
But when we think about the philosophy,
Right.
it is totally different.
Right. So Buddha is more like humanistic approach.
Yeah.
So I have a question. How is your Buddhist practice differ from other type of Buddhism, like Tibetan Buddhism? There are many sects of Buddhism itself, although it is actually more like a humanistic, kind of basic nature of human. It addresses basic psychology and nature of human being, right? So how do you distinguish yourself among others?
Well, we have so many schools of Buddhism. If we use the term Buddhism, I belong to Theravada Buddhism.
Right.
I would introduce that.
If you could introduce Buddhism in a nutshell, how would you
well,
introduce? And
I will come to that explanations.
Okay.
And so we have right now two traditional Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. So Nepal also very much belongs to Mahayana Buddhism in a traditional form.
Okay.
So likewise, Tibet, China, Mongolia, Japan, Korea, Bhutan, Vietnam, all these countries belong to Mahayana traditions.
Yeah.
And when you say Theravada traditions, there are particularly 5 countries like Sri Lanka, Burma, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos. These are the officially they have adopted Theravada traditions as their own religion.
I see.
So therefore, in the world you can find 2 different Theravada monks and Mahayana monks. So I belong to Theravada traditions, schools of Buddhism.
And then Tibetan Buddhism is Mahayana.
That is a Mahayana Buddhism.
And also some in Nepali.
Yeah, well, of course, Nepal is, we have a city, the Buddhism in the city, especially exists in the Newari community, and the Buddhism in the Himalayan. So Himalayan Buddhism is very much similar to Tibetan Buddhism. Yeah, they praying and they believe and yeah, so much just like me, Theravada traditions. Likewise, Himalayan Buddhism mostly belong to the Tibetan tradition.
Okay. Yeah. So in general, what is the core of Buddhism?
Core of Buddhism is right understanding. So that is the main thing how the Buddha has started. In the time of the Buddha, there were 62 different views of the religions. Not just one religion, 62 different views of
Buddhist religion.
Not Buddhism.
In general.
In a general, that is the religions exist in the time of the Buddha.
I see.
So Buddha has found all these different views, all these different philosophies, and so he found, he discovered his own philosophy.
So in other words, he was more like a scholar and researcher.
The researcher, scholar, more practical,
scientific way to explain
rather than
the
just believing. Buddha does not encourage anyone to believe his religion rather than to understand.
Right.
So Buddha always encourage you should understand, you should have right understanding. In Pali term we say right samma ditti. In Sanskrit samyak drishti. In Sanskrit.
Right.
And samma means right, ditti means view or understanding. You can translate either way. So right understanding or right view one should have rather than in a belief system. So that is how the difference between the other existing religions and in the Buddha's way of his teachings. Yeah.
So now, how is Vipassana meditation related to Theravada Buddhism?
Well, Vipassana is actually used in the Theravada traditions. That is again a Pali word.
What is Vipassana?
Pali word.
Means?
Vipassana means see things as they are.
Okay.
Passana means to see.
Okay.
We means that is the what do you call in anyway, special seeing. We prefix, yeah, that is the word.
Okay.
We persona. We, whenever you use the word we prefix, that means special.
Okay.
So that means special. Vipassana means special seeing.
Okay.
So special, when you to practice meditation, you will see your own mind.
It's not an illusion, but
No,
you
no,
see
no,
what it is.
is.
Okay.
You not imagination.
I see.
To see as it is, or as you to see as they are, mentally and physically. So that is how, when you do the practice of Vipassana, you will know your own existence.
I see. So it's not seeing the object or physical thing, but your own being.
How it is going on, the
Right.
process of the mind and the process of the body.
So it focuses on mostly the mind of a person.
Like, yeah.
Okay. So that means, how does Vipassana, so you can explain probably, how does Vipassana meditation help mental health of a person?
Well, now we start with the breathing. Right? So we have so many activities throughout the body. Right?
Right.
Through our ears, nose, you know these five senses.
Five senses, yeah.
But especially, breathing is the most active part of the body since we were born.
Right.
First, we start with the breathing,
Right.
until now. And we end up our life stopping the breathing.
Right.
Start with the breathing and the ending with the breathing.
Right.
So therefore, Buddha gives the very authentic teachings about this meditation, watching our breathing. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. There are, of course, so many stages, so many levels of breathing systems, but we watch the touching sensations on the tip of the nose. When we breathe in, we feel cold air sensation. When we breathe out, we feel hot air sensations. So like that, we can keep on watching, and of course, we have to, at the same time, we can learn about the body, we can learn about the mind. So, but mainly to train, to subdue our active mind, we keep on training on the breathing system.
I see. So that's the beginning of
And that
the
is
meditation.
the beginning, yeah, meditation.
And then
yeah.
with that breathing system, you learn about yourself
Yeah.
and your mind and
That's
thought
right,
process.
yes.
I see.
So therefore, my practice, my experience, merely explaining, you will not understand by yourself. So that means you yourself should experience.
Right. Right.
To see the reality of your mind and body.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that is the self training and self practicing.
I see. So, so with that Vipassana meditation, how do you translate your compassion and humanitarian work that you do? Is my
Well, the
question.
first and the most important to have the compassion by yourself. Right? When you learn about your mind and when you learn about your own body, because oneself is the love comparing anything in the world. So I love by myself than anything externally. So therefore, when you do that, so we call it meditation on loving kindness. So when we practice meditation on loving kindness, first we do ourselves rather than we do loving kindness towards others. So let us say, starting, may I be well and happy, may I be in peace, may I be free from danger, may I be free from enmity, may I have a long life, like that, whatever. So that is how I wish always, right? So therefore, I meditate on oneself, and that is how we can apply that compassion, right? Loving kindness towards others.
So the first thing is to be kind to yourself and treat yourself as somebody else.
Somebody else.
To bring compassion and
That's
kindness.
Right, yes.
I see.
If you do not have compassion by yourself, how can you apply to others?
Yes. So hurting yourself is as bad as hurting others. Would you like to share your future plan of the work that you've been doing for peace and humanity projects around the world? I know you went to Sri Lanka for your birthday recently, and you have a lot of other posters that we can show your work. And do you like to talk a little bit about that?
Of course, why not?
And past and future plans.
I will be
present.
very happy to what I am doing and what I have done and what is my future plan.
Okay, I'm just going to bring the poster one by one. Okay, so you train monks in Nepal. Right?
Yeah, you can just put on the front.
Okay, this is the International Bhikkhu Training Foundation that you have started in Nepal?
So no.
What is that?
I started in Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I went to Sri Lanka after my high school in Thailand in 1982.
Okay.
So I joined the postgraduate diploma course, and after completing that, I started this project the right way with the help of other senior monks and the professors. So I established International Bhikkhu Training Foundation. Bhikkhu means Buddhist monks, especially. So therefore, you can say
in Hindu we say Vichu.
Bhikshu, that is Sanskrit word.
Sanskrit word.
Okay. But whenever you say Bhikshu or Bhikkhu, that terms for Buddhist monk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So if it is a Hindu, then you can say Rishi.
Oh, I see.
Rishi
is equivalent to Bhikshu.
Yeah, equivalent. That terms for the Hindu priest.
Okay.
When you say Bhikshu, that is Sanskrit word for Bhikkhu.
I see.
So I have started training these young monks in 1985. And when I started this project foundation, I went to Nepal, accompanying one very educated senior monk. And we ordained 15 youngsters.
15?
Yeah, in Kathmandu. And I trained 2.5 years, and I took them to Sri Lanka and sharing 2 different institutions where they can get a monastic education and training. And so that was the beginning. I started giving education for young generation, young monks. So now, the monks whom I ordained in 1985, so up to date, some of them already professors.
Wow.
Teaching in the university. One is professor at the Lumbini University in Nepal. And
Lumbini is a birthplace of Buddha, Gautam Buddha. Yeah.
That is a world knows that whenever we call Lumbini, that is the birthplace of the Buddha. So we have a university now, Lumbini Buddhist University. So one of my students is a professor in Sanskrit and reading for PhD theses. And one of my students teaching in England, one of the, so like that, I have been training and educating young generations, and that's how I have a long ambitions. Of course, not the first group. After that, I keep on ordaining again and again and giving them opportunity to study in Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka is the Buddhist country,
Right.
where over 30,000 monks are studying.
Right.
So, so therefore, we do not have that education system for monks in Nepal.
Right.
So that is lacking, still lacking.
Right.
And so this is a most important thing that I see. I mean, education.
Right. And so next is human development project.
So this is after I graduated from Lesley University in 2005.
Okay.
I did the second master in education.
Okay.
So I graduated 2005.
Here in Lesley University.
Lesley University
Oh,
in
okay.
Cambridge.
Nice.
And after that, because I had a long ambitions of establishing the Buddhist college, I
Right.
will come more detail about it. And I left USA back to Nepal, but due to the various obstacles, I could not start that college, but I did start this project, so-called Karunamaya Human Development Foundation.
Yes.
When you add the Maya,
Right.
one who has compassion.
Right. Karuna means compassion.
Compassion,
Right.
and when you say Karunamaya,
Yeah.
then one who has compassion.
Right. Right.
So like that, this is the name of the project, Human Development Foundation.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So therefore, I use the term Karunamaya.
But yes, the Karuna Maya means
So
compassion,
I gave
human
the
development.
scholarship for 25 young underprivileged children
Right.
in Nepal.
Right.
We went to the school to school, discussing with the principals,
Right.
asking them whether there are some students who are difficulties in finance for their schooling, and who lost mother or father.
Right.
So in that way, we have chosen walking school to school, discussing with the principals, and
Right.
whoever the principals have given the names of the students, we went house to house to find out and clarify them.
Right.
So somehow we have given the scholarship for 25 students.
25 orphans who are orphans.
Well, you can say orphans, but they come from their own homes.
Right.
We are not thinking about how their living, conditions.
Right.
We are not counting the story of the building.
Right.
So
Right.
or whether it is a cottage or whether it is
Right.
story buildings.
Right.
But we think about their education.
Education and-
How we are supporting for them to have
Right.
the
Be better.
continue their education.
Yeah.
So last 13, 14 years, we have been supporting like that. Now, last 13 years, the students that we have started in 2005 already graduated.
Okay.
And some are already married, and some are having
very
the
nice.
jobs, and some are,
Living
but
good
we
life.
did supported up to their high schools.
I see.
So this is how I started giving them, rather than giving the money. If you give money, you take it, and by tomorrow it will be gone.
Right.
But
Right.
if you give them education, that will be very strong, bright future, making them
Right.
bright future, right?
Independent, yes.
So therefore, we focus on that rather than distributing the money, but
all the
we
things.
encourage them to keep on studying,
Working,
going
yeah.
school and studying. So this is a very practical and a very ongoing program. I
Okay.
think we choose students from the government schools.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah,
Yes. So,
yeah, and from the village areas.
Okay.
And so over 200 students already graduated.
Okay.
And still we have 70 students.
70?
70.
Oh, wow.
70
70.
schools, 70 students studying in the different schools.
Okay.
From grade 1 to grade 10.
Oh, that's a great
So therefore, this is how our compassion towards those who really in need, you know, rather than teaching.
Right.
You know, I can teach about the compassions again and again and again, but rather than talking about the compassion, we should put into the practice.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So this is what we do in humanity.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the next.
Lastly, I can explain the project that I'm doing
for the future.
Yeah, for the future.
Okay. So
the temple we have right now in Lynn, we started in 2006. We
temple
established
here in Lynn, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is in the name of International Sakyamuni Buddha Vihara and Vipassana Center.
Okay.
So international is different nationalities,
right.
just not one nation,
right.
but different nationalities coming together. And Sakyamuni is the original name of the Buddha,
right?
Where he is
because
from.
He is from
Sakya
Sakya Bangsha,
clan,
yes.
Clan,
yes.
Clan. Yeah, and Vihara is the temple,
right.
where you can have the religion, cultural, traditional activities.
Right. It's a public space.
It's
to
public
me, like
special,
a public space.
So when you talk about the Vihara, that is the meaning is monastic.
Right.
Where monks live.
Right.
Monastery.
Where monks live.
Monastery.
Okay.
So when I say temple is somewhat different than the monastery.
Right.
Monastery where you can find the monks living there.
So Bihara is also Pali word.
That is the Pali word.
Okay. Because we have Bihar in Kathmandu.
Yeah, that
and
is
it has more like a Buddhist, what do you call that?
Yeah, Vihara, the terms is dwelling.
Dwelling.
Vihara means dwelling.
I see.
Dwelling means where monks dwell.
But so more like a spiritual seeking.
Yeah, where monks, it could be, when you say the temple, it could be just a place of worship.
Right.
Not for the
seekers.
Not
for seekers. Okay.
So anyway, and Vipassana, so we have combination.
Right.
Temple where we can have the Vihara, where we can have the religious, cultural, traditional rituals, activities. And the Vipassana, at the same time, you can have the meditation.
Meditation, yes.
So meditation does not mean it is a culture. It is a tradition. It is a ritual.
Right.
No, it is completely different.
It's a seeking truth.
Seeking the truth. You don't have to be Buddhist.
Right.
You can be any religions.
Right.
In your background.
Right.
But still you can practice the meditation.
Yeah, because
so
no matter which religion you're from, you breathe the same air. Same air. Yes.
So therefore, we have been doing in the temples various programs, like International Buddha Day celebration. We coordinate with Thai, Cambodian, Laos, Vietnam, Sri Lankan, Nepalese, Indian. So all come together and we celebrate culturally.
Right.
So this is one of the programs that we were doing a couple of years ago, and some of them you can see young girls from the Laotian temple, from the Westford Laotian temple.
Oh yes.
So they were doing the cultural performance, and you can also see some Bangladesh girls performing their cultural dance, and some Nepalese girls also performing.
Right.
So like that, we are coordinating and cooperating with all the Buddhist cultural background, and coming together. And this is what we have been doing last 13 years, since 2006. And so we are very happy about not being one Nepalese, but also we are together like one family.
Sure.
One family. So this is a very good example, and supported and coming together to join this program. So probably we are going to have another International Buddha Day celebration in May.
Okay.
In May. Okay. Yeah. And so we will let you know and how and when we are going to do this upcoming International Buddha Day celebration. So under this International Sakyamuni Buddha Vihara and Vipassana Center as a temple, we are undertaking so many important other activities.
Right.
One is supporting this Human Development Foundation, providing scholarship for the children, those who are needed. So that is also the program we are doing. And another program that we are approaching, establishing the International Monastic Buddhist College in Kathmandu.
Right.
So we have already completed one building, and we started teaching about the Buddhist philosophy in Kathmandu. And now in the upcoming months, probably after the Buddha Day celebration, I am going back to Kathmandu and start another project to start the building for international monks residence.
Okay.
So that will be another 4 years project.
Right.
And after we complete that residential building project, we can invite monks from different countries to come and study Buddhism.
Yes, study and teach.
Yeah, so this is also undertaken by this temple.
Okay.
Under this temple.
Oh, Lin Temple.
Lin Temple.
I see.
So therefore, we have under this temple not only doing temple religious and cultural activities, but also we are doing
compassion,
social and educational activities as well.
Right, right. So the next but not least, let's move on to next. This is what I'm excited about. Could tell me more about this.
Yeah. This project is a so-called Swayambhu project. Swayambhu is the name of the another name of the Buddha. Swayambhu, Swayam means self. Who means existing.
Self-existence.
Self-coming or self.
So like realization of self.
Who means becoming.
Okay.
Self-becoming as a Buddha.
Right.
Right. Swayambhu means that. So we have a very historical temple in Kathmandu. You know that is Swayambhu on the mountain.
Yes.
So with that,
they call it monkey temple too sometimes because there's so much monkeys. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
I miss it.
Call it a monkey temple.
I really miss it. Yeah.
So this project is under the United International Sangha.
Okay.
So Sangha means the monks. Again, a monks community is so-called Sangha. Monks community is so-called Sangha.
Okay.
So under this, United International Sangha. So all the monks coming together doing this project.
Okay.
So under this project, we have board members from 9 different countries. 9 different countries. So I'm the founder, general secretary of this project. I'm from Nepal, now one country.
Right.
Right? And from the Tibet, and from Korea, from Cambodia, from Laos, and from Vietnam, and like that. You know, so these are
so you have
some
3
of
left.
the countries. Yeah.
I want to know the others. Must be one from America and one from Japan, maybe.
We all are from America.
We all are from America, of course. Yes.
So therefore, this is the base country.
Okay.
You know, we all monks live in the United States.
Yes.
Under one umbrella.
So you all bringing together for compassion as one.
That's right. Yes. So one of the gentlemen from Nepal, who is the assistant treasurer, is he's from New York. So like that we come together, and assistant secretary is from Vietnam. He is also monk.
Right.
And one of the treasurer to this project from Tibet.
Right.
So like that,
Right.
you know, so we come together and make this project, because now when you say this project, all monks, we accommodate monks from all these countries.
Right. It's more for peace and humanity.
That's right.
When monk means who work for peace and humanity and compassion. That's what I relate to.
We have the language problem.
Okay.
Now we have a Korean monk, Japanese monk, Vietnamese monk, right? The people.
Right.
And they really like to listen their own language.
Right.
Right? But if they come to me and ask me, Bhante, can you give us the talk or meditation instructions in Japanese or Vietnamese or Chinese? I cannot do that.
Right.
But under this project, monks from all these different countries will stay here.
Yes.
And whoever the devotees from that particular country, so that monk can guide it.
Right.
The same philosophy, same doctrine, only different is language.
Right.
So therefore, as you ask what is different between Nepal and Tibet Buddhism,
right.
We pray in Nepalese language, they pray in the Tibetan language.
It sounds very nice though. That chanting, Tibetan chanting is very soothing, even if we don't understand it, you know.
So that's how we don't differentiate.
Right.
Because of the language.
Right.
So this is going to be a mini United Nations.
Okay, that's wonderful.
I can say that.
Yes.
Because most of the monks from the Natana, we say, my temple, right? We call it international.
Right.
So therefore, not only me as a Nepalese, but we have Sri Lankan monks also.
We all want peace and happiness and basic.
So we have Sri Lankan monks, and we already invited monks from Burma. So like that, we get together, we work together for the humanity.
For the humanity and peace, yes.
We are looking for the land.
Okay.
So we are looking 10 to 20 acres of land in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And so as soon as we find that place, we are going to, of course we have already started the organization, and we all the monks get together and discuss we can have the land. It doesn't matter because everybody driving.
I'm really excited about it because I know the feel of it, you know, I know the spiritual feelings.
Well, in Lumbini, of course, now we have already the temple from so many different countries.
Right.
Now Lumbini became one of the most heaviest, the temples. Too many temples.
Too far away too.
Covered the whole Lumbini land now. You know, Korean, Japanese, and the Chinese, Thai, Burma,
French,
all the countries, monastery from so many, almost every country is already established in Lumbini.
Yeah, it's a very basic psychological education, that you learn from Buddhism.
So therefore, now in Massachusetts, one of the most important states where we have the education, right? So therefore,
we need compassion.
And I have been living here almost 20 years. So therefore, I feel that we should have the monastery where monks from all different countries can come and practice together.
Right.
So this is the so-called United International Sangha, and under this we are doing this project.
Oh, that's
so
very great.
As soon as we have the land, we are still driving around and try to find out the best location.
Right.
And once we have it, we will the right way start with the support of many devotees. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all the work you have done and giving us some understanding of what Buddhism is about and what Vipassana about. Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing your work going further successfully. And thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Karuna, inviting me and giving me this opportunity at this Cultural Nepal program. So I will be extremely happy to share for the upliftment and for the peace of our community. I will be very happy to give my time. Yeah,
Sure.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes. And thank you, audience, for watching our show. I hope this has brought you some understanding of Buddhist monk in humanity and compassion. And if there's any questions or comments, or if you need to have more information about this monastery, please feel free to contact me at the Culture Nepal, Acton TV @gmail.com, or you can even contact Acton TV. Thank you so much, and see you later. Bye-bye.